What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We got ourselves a nice Tuesday night slate. It is Taco Tuesday. We'll have pairs for all the tacos in our Discord. Just want to go ahead and throw that out there. I am going to be picking two winners from yesterday's two videos to win free VIP. Now, before I pick our two winners, I do want to go over some of the wins and some of the losses we have from yesterday. And I'm going to show you guys losses as well because this isn't all green beans every single day. We already know that. So I want to show you guys some bad beats to begin with. So all these slips up here are my bad beats from yesterday. Let's talk about them. First one, we had Julius Randle on the free picks. I had him paired with Michael Porter Jr. That one ended up being a refund. Bad beat there because Porter ended up not playing. So that one ended up, it wasn't a chalk, it was a refund. Then we had Sabonis with Jaren Jackson Jr. This is where the bad beats begin because Sabonis smashed his line. He cashed pretty easy. And then Jaren Jackson Jr., 3 rebounds at halftime, 4 rebounds in the third, plays the final 10 minutes of the fourth quarter and doesn't get one board. Chalks us. So we chalk by a hook on this play, lose my 250. Here we go. Sengun, Ausar Thompson, Jokic. Sengun cashes easy. Ausar Thompson foul trouble, 3 fouls in the first 8 minutes of the game that he played. Obviously doesn't play any more the second or any more the first half, ends with like 14. Truly believe if he wasn't in foul trouble, he cashed easy, that would have been cash. Now, even if he cashed, Jokic, 9.5 rebounds, which, for example, I'm just giving you guys, let you guys know what Jokic is averaging right now. Averaging 14 rebounds per game right now. Couldn't get 10 for me, so that ended up chalking as well. Missed that one. I looked like an idiot playing these two plays. A lot of red for me. And then the final bad beat of the day that I had was our boy Cam Thomas. Kevin Durant cashed easy. Cam Thomas, I thought this was free. I almost pre-cashed this slip because Cam Thomas had 25 PRA at halftime. Halftime. We needed 8 PRA the second half, and it was a tie game. He comes out there and gives me 30. Got 5 or 6 PRA in the second half. Like, I don't understand it. It is what it is. Cam Thomas chalked us. Now I want to go ahead and tell you guys something. If you're just now getting to the sports wagering world, what I'm going to tell you right now is you can't get mad at one player one time if they chalk you once. Now if they chalk you consistently, then maybe you should stop playing the player for sure, or start taking some different lines, unders maybe. But I don't play Cam Thomas very often. The 2 times I have played him, he's chalked me. So I'm probably going to fade Cam a little bit more. But I'm going to give you an example of a good play. A good play that I wouldn't be mad at would be our man Vucevic. Vooch has cashed us probably 10 times in a row, or not 10, but at least 4 in a row right now this season. So if Vooch misses for me, I'm not going to be mad at him because he's cashed me out so many times lately that it doesn't even matter if he misses. They're due for regression. Some players are going to be due for regression. Now, looking at some of our dubs, we have Siakam, Randall, and Sabonis. This cashed easy as a 40% profit boost on Underdog, 51 to 110. We had Javonte Williams and Ryland. This was directly given from our free pick video for NFL, 250 for 617. That cashed. That's the same slip as this one. I just had the cash version of it. George Pickens and Brissett cashed me out. Austin Reeves and well, this is from the day. These two are from the day before, so these are from Sunday night. But they both cashed 100 for 286, 100 for 350. We cashed this Jeremy Grant and Rui Hachimura play. This is a second half play, from last night's game. 100 for 300. Nice sleeper slip here. Nice underdog slip here that cashed us out, 40% profit boost once again. Prescott and Harrison cashed us, and then we had Julius Randle and Westbrook cashes. So overall, ended up not being a completely bad day. It looked horrible because these are like some of the first slips that I had seen, and I was like, man, I'm about to chalk everything. But ended up working itself out, and that's just the name of the game. So that being said, I am going to pick 2 winners from yesterday's video. The first winner is going to be from our NBA player prop video. If this video right now gets 250 likes, I will pick a random comment down below to win a free month of our VIP, and I give this away every single day, guys. So make sure you guys are hitting the like button, dropping a comment. You do have to be a subscriber to win, so make sure you guys are subscribed if you're not already. We're almost at 38,000. I really do appreciate every single one of you. And let's pick our winner. So the winner is going to be for the first winner is going to be for Tyler Twice, who said Rand should feast. Well, Tyler, send me a message on Discord, man. I'm pretty sure that says Randall. It's probably just the comment picker being bugged out like it is. Tyler, send me a message on Discord, man. You won yourself a free month of VIP. Dude's been in our Discord for a long time. I do appreciate you supporting us, brother. And yeah, send me a message. Second winner of the day is going to be picked from the Cardinals versus Cowboys NFL player props. You can see, let's go ahead and pick our winner from this video. So the second winner of the day is going to be for Chris OG 5002, who said great picks, not gonna lie. Well, Chris, send me a message on Discord. You got yourself a or Chris O, send me a message on Discord. I got you a free month of VIP, my man. Appreciate the love and support. NFL picks ended up 2-2, so it wasn't a great day on NFL. So or based off the free picks, but it is what it is. So Dallas broke my heart yesterday. Not gonna lie, they couldn't get the third field goal or the third PAT. It kind of crushed me. They made some very dumb coaching decisions. Aubrey should have had 3 field goals yesterday easily, and of course he ends up with 1. Which I didn't play Aubrey field goals. Happy about it, but anyways. Anyways, guys, if you do want to get all of our plays, link to the WAP is down in the description. You guys can choose between the elite membership or the regular membership. It's all down there. We'd love to have you part of the Discord. Discord is free to join if you want to be a part of the Discord. If you want to get all of my picks, though, you do have to be in the WAP. So just throwing it out there. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about these games, and let's get everything started for our player props, and we'll lock some in live here in just a minute. But I do want to talk about the games first. So we got a small game, or a 6-game slate, mid-size slate, not a super small slate, not a super big slate. I kind of like this slate better than I liked yesterday's. If you watched yesterday's NBA video, I did completely say I do not like this slate. There are a lot of back-to-backs and a lot of injuries. Now, there are some back-to-backs today, but I'm honestly digging this slate. So I like this one a little bit better. So Milwaukee versus the Raptors is the first game we're going to talk about. The Bucks are on a back-to-back. Bucks starting the season off hot, 5-2 with our man Giannis and friends. Toronto right now is -150 at home, -4.5 on the spread, and the total sitting at 236.5. Public betting has 72% of the money on the Bucks, 53% of the money on Toronto, and then 57% of the money on the over on the total on this game. 2025 season so far, you can see neither team on a back-to-back, or Bucks are on a back-to-back. Toronto is not. They played on the second versus Memphis. They're on a 2-game win streak right now. The Raptors have been looking pretty good. Now, the Raptors are one of those teams I thought was a sleeper team at the beginning of the season. They won the first game. I felt like I was a genius. Like, I told you guys the Raptors are going to be good. They're going to beat Atlanta. And then they lost 4 in a row. So then I felt like a complete idiot again. But anyways, they've won 2 more. They beat Cleveland and they beat Memphis. And they have been looking pretty strong. So I'm going to roll with the Raptors on this one. I think the Raptors get a nice little dub tonight, especially with the Bucks on the back-to-back. This Bucks lineup is Giannis. I mean, obviously they got some facilitators and things in here, but it's Giannis, man. Giannis is the star of the show, and if they – all right, I was about to say if they shut Giannis down. Nobody's shutting Giannis down, let's be honest. Giannis is a freaking beast. They just beat the Pacers 117-115 in Indiana. They're looking good. They are traveling, so lots of traveling going on right now for the Bucks. The Bucks are going to be tired. This is going to be a tough game for them, so – for me, some picks I'm looking at this game, looking at Brandon Ingram. I'm looking at our man R.J. Barrett. There's some lines for Quickly that I like. Honestly, there's an under that I like for Quickly as well. And then I like Giannis. Not really much more from the Milwaukee side that I'm going to be looking at. But this game, for me, is Toronto money line at -150. I don't think that's too juiced to play. I'm not going to take them on the spread. 4.5 spread is a little bit too high. I would take them if you wanted to buy a couple points, like -1.5 or something. I wouldn't mind that, but it is what it is. Total, I'm not going to touch. For me, it's just the Toronto Raptors taking a dub tonight because I do think that they should be able to come out here and get a win at home. Second game of the slate that we have is the Magic taking on the Hawks. Neither of these teams on a back-to-back. Atlanta is +144 right now at home, +3.5 on the spread, and the total sitting at 228.5. 55% of the money right now is on the Hawks to win this game. 81% of the money on Orlando to cover the spread, and then 54% of the money on the over on the total on this game. Looking at these two teams so far, Washington is the last win for the Magic. They beat Washington and Charlotte in 2 back-to-back games. They're sitting on the season, 3-4. Then if you look at the Hawks are 3-4 right now as well. They're coming off of a loss to Cleveland in Cleveland. Close game, 109-117. Like I said, neither team on back-to-backs. If you're looking at any of the injury news here, not really anything we need to look at right now for the Magic. Nothing new. But then on the other side of things for the Hawks, Trae Young is still missing. Trae Young is still out. I'm going to miss this game, which leads to a lot of usage for our man Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Porzingis. There's some good plays that we can get in here. So RA for Dyson Daniels might be good. Jalen Johnson, PRA. Porzingis, I like Porzingis scoring in his PRA a lot of the time. So there's some good plays in here that I like. On the Orlando side of things, I just told you guys not to ban players. I don't have anybody from the Orlando team like banned on my list or anything like that. But I will say, Banchero is like, it's hard to trust. Some of these players are hard to trust. Maybe Wagner. Wagner might be the only one that I trust. So we'll see. Bane, I can't trust. I haven't been able to trust Bane in 2 seasons. He has his games. Obviously, Banchero's a beast. He has his games too, but he has his games where he doesn't do anything either. And I tend to be on the wrong side of the games where I think Banchero is going to do great and he doesn't do anything. So for me, picking a winner on this game, I'm going to run with the Magic. I think the Magic gets the dub, especially without Trae Young. I think this game stays pretty dang competitive. I think it could go either way. If you're going to put money on a minus 146 or plus 144. Maybe if you think it's a super coin flip, you could throw a unit on Atlanta maybe and get the plus money. But I do think Orlando comes out here and gets a dub tonight without Trae Young. Orlando's not a bad team. Neither team are bad, but I'm rolling with Orlando in this one, so that's my personal opinion. Jumping into Game 3, we got the Pelicans taking on the Hornets. The Pelicans starting out extremely strong, 0-6 on the season so far. Hornets starting out looking better than I thought they were. They're 3-4 right now. New Orleans is favored to win this game. Minus 122 favorites, minus 2.5 on the spread, and the total at 236.5. Great game for props, in my opinion. 51% of the money right now is on the Hornets. 71% of the money is on the Pelicans covering the spread, and then 57% of the money on the over on this total. So let's take a look at this team and why the Pelicans may be favored to win. So first of all, the Hornets coming off a dub versus the Jazz. They won 126-103, a blowout win versus Utah. Other than that, 3 games prior to that, they lost 3 in a row versus Minnesota, Orlando, and Miami. So 3 tough teams. They kind of got spanked in all three games. Got beat by 17, beat by 16, and then beat by 27. So big losses in those 3 games. So they haven't looked super strong lately. If you look at the other side of things, though, the Pelicans are just getting killed by everybody, man. OKC beat them by 31, which is obvious. I would assume they'd get blown out by OKC. Almost beat the Clippers, couldn't pull out the dub. Got blown out by the Nuggets, got blown out by Boston, got beat by the Spurs, and they got beat by Memphis in the first 2 games. Now, they have had Zion out, I know, 1 game this season. I'm not exactly sure how many games Zion has sat this season. But looking at Charlotte's side of things, they're missing Brandon Miller. LaMelo is questionable with a right ankle. He did play his last game. He was questionable his last game. I think he's going to play. I'm not too worried about LaMelo. If LaMelo doesn't play, then you got Kunapel, who is another good player that I really like this one. So Kunapel, I'm actually leaning towards pretty strong on this game. Him, I like LaMelo RA, but Kunapel really the one that I'm leaning towards the most. Looking at the Pelican side of things, Misi's questionable. Zion is questionable. DeJounte Murray obviously been out all season long. So if Zion sits, then definitely the Hornets are getting the dub tonight, in my opinion. But if he does play, this game gets a little bit competitive. So for me, I can't trust a team that's 0-6. I would wait to see what happens with LaMelo. If LaMelo, I think he's going to play, man. I can't trust the Pelicans, man. I can't trust them. Misi and Zion questionable. Can't trust them. I'd have to take Charlotte plus 130. Even though this game's coin flip, I don't think that this is like I'm not a strong favorite on Charlotte right now, but I got to run with them, man. 0-6 Pelicans, hard to trust that team. So for me, I'm going to take Charlotte coming off a blowout win versus the Jazz. The Jazz, I mean, they're not a great team, but I thought they were going to beat the Hornets the last game. I'm not going to lie, so we'll see. But I'm not going to fade the Hornets at plus 130. I will say this could be a trap. And when I say traps, plus 130 for Charlotte, a lot of people might think Charlotte wins this game. So they're like, oh, I can get Charlotte at plus money, like I'm saying. And then it ends up being a Pelicans domination. So remember that. Some of these games are traps. Like Pelicans 0-6, not many people are going to want to bet on an 0-6 team, and then they give you plus money on the opposite team. So they try to get you to run the Hornets, and then you end up losing your money at plus money. So maybe Pelicans is the move here. Like you see, the public betting is around a 50-50 split, but 71% of the money is on the Pelicans covering that spread. So that's not obviously going to be something to look at as well. But for me, I'm going to run with the Hornets. I'm going to trust my gut. Next game, it's going to be the last game that I talk about. So I'll talk about this one in depth, and then we'll look at these last 2 games because you got 10-point spread and 8-point spread pretty much on these last 2 games. So I don't really want to touch these as much. But anyways, let's look at the Sixers versus the Bulls. Chicago minus 108 at home. Pretty much got even money on this game. Chicago is minus 1.5 favorites on the spread. And the total in this game sitting at 239.5, the highest scoring total on the game. This is going to be a great game for props. Lots of things to look out there for this game. 56% of the money right now is on the Sixers. 78% of the money on them to cover the spread, and 77% of the money on the over on this total. Looking at these 2 teams, so both teams are 5-1. The only loss for the Sixers is versus Boston. They lost by 1 point. Then the only loss for the Bulls is versus the Knicks in their last game. They were in New York, and that was 2 days ago. So neither team on the back-to-back. We got a fresh team. This is like Clash of the Titans today, man. Now, one thing about this lineup for the Sixers is Paul George is out. He's been out. McCain is probable. So McCain might be playing in this game. You guys remember McCain last year. McCain looked freaking awesome. Embiid obviously was hurt most of the season. McCain and Maxey stepped it up. Maxey's a baller. McCain is a baller as well. So if you're thinking about taking VJ Edgecombe, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys something. VJ was on my radar because if you check Parlay Play and you come to their promos, VJ Edge call him at 14.5 points is a 1.6x. Now, VJ at at 14.5 so far this season has been like a 1.3x boosted. So for me to see this, I was like, why is this line 1.6x? And that's when I started doing my digging, and I said, McCain. If McCain comes in, that's probably going to take a lot of VJ's usage away, especially if he's feeling good. I mean, it was right thumb surgery. If he's good to go, man, like you gotta think McCain's season last year looks better than VJ's this year, in my opinion. So I think that's something we need to pay attention to. I'm going to be fading VJ for this game for sure. If you look at Chicago's side of things, Zach Collins is still out, Kobe White is still out, DeSunmu is questionable. Nothing really we got to look at too bad on this team. Giddey and Vucevic has been I don't know what I was about to say. Pause is all I'm gonna say. Giddey and Vucevic has been killing it lately. So either of those is a good pick in my opinion. But other than that, man, like, this game could go either way. I'm not going to pick a winner. If I had to choose a winner, man, I kind of got to roll the Sixers, I think. I think I got to take the Sixers at plus money. Now, this is coin flip, man. I actually don't dislike this Bulls team. I don't dislike Vucevic has been cashing me out all the time. So I'm not hating at all on Chicago, by the way. I'm just saying that with the Sixers lineup healthy looks pretty good, in my opinion. We'll see. But anyways, that one could go either way. If you like the Bulls, take the Bulls. Don't let me sway you at all. But I will be probably running Philly on this. I'll probably put some money on this one because it gave me something to look forward to tonight on these games. Because you look at the Suns versus Golden State. Hard for me to trust anything with the Suns, but at the same time, Golden State has their games too where they just fall off. This one I'm just going to fade in terms of talking about it. I think Golden State wins. And then this game's you got OKC versus the Clippers. I got to take OKC. This is juiced as well. I mean, Clippers have not shown me anything this season. The coaching has looked stupid to me, and I'm going to fade that game as well. So that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into some player props. I've actually got a list of 5 props, and I'm going to let you guys choose between the ones you want, or 6 props actually, if we're being technical about it. So let's jump into these player props. We're going to lock in some slips live, and if you guys do want to get a free month of VIP, you can sign up for any partnered app down below. So that's all I'm going to say. They're all down in the description. You get a free month for everyone that you sign up for, and you can get up to 7 full months for free. And we do have that $25 special for Thunder Pick still rolling in our Discord. If you guys want more information, it is in the Discord. Take a sip of my energy drink, and then we'll jump into these player props. All right, guys. So, first player prop that I have for today. I've already told you guys, Jalen Johnson. Thought he was a great play versus the Magic. No Trae Young, obviously. Jalen Johnson's line is sitting at around 33, 34.5, depending on the platform you're looking at PRA, which he's cashed in 4 of 6 games on the season. If you look at his last 2 games, he's had over 40 PRA in both games. Now, he has 1 game versus the Magic already this season. He had 21 PRA, the only game this season where he didn't do jack squat. The Magic is usually one of those teams that don't give up very many stats. Lately, to the forward position, small forward specifically, they give up a lot of stats. Power forward, you can see it's top 3 defense at every single category. So power forward position, they are struggling. Right now, the lineup, you got Jalen Johnson in the power forward position. They're sitting him at the 4. So we'll see how the lineup looks tonight when they play. But it is a tough matchup in my opinion. But they don't really have much to go by, man. You got Porzingis, you got Jalen Johnson. Those are the 2 that I'm mainly leaning towards. Dyson Daniels, rebounds and assists, depending on what the line is. I actually haven't looked at the line for that, so you could maybe get some value there. But I'm looking at Jalen Johnson and Porzingis in this game mostly on the Atlanta side of things. But I like Jalen Johnson to give us 30 PRA. This is going to be one of my discounted lines. If you want to take his original line at like 33, 34, you can. We can see what it is on Parlay Play. Code Fantasy Aces on Parlay Play. So you can get him at 34.5 for a 1.6x. Or you can get him at 29.5 for a 1.23x, which is just going to be a goblin play. You guys know how I play. I like playing the discounted lines. Now, I do have $18 in promo funds. I'm not going to just burn these like I usually do. I'm going to play these on an actual slip that I like. But I'm taking Jalen Johnson. And that is going to be the first pick of the day that I like. We're going to pull it up on Props Madness. We're going to take a look at this game, and we're going to see where the scoring is allowed from the Magic. So we're going to click Jalen Johnson. You can see he has a yellow and green matchup. Jalen Johnson shoots 89% of his shots in the paint and under the rim. He has a green matchup, bottom 5 defense, and then he has almost a bottom 10 defense under the rim. He has a great scoring matchup. It's perfect. This is what you want to see when you're playing him. Obviously, if it was dark green, it would be even better. If this was 27, it would be even better. But this is about as good as you're going to get on majority of teams, especially teams like the Magic. So this is as good as it's going to get. I honestly figured it was going to have some orange, but great matchup for Jalen Johnson. I like this play a lot, and I'm going to be locking him in. If you want to take his original line, like I said, lock it in. For me, this is just what I'm rolling in for this slip. And you can play it on parlay play. We'll lock it in, or prize picks as well. We'll check the value to make sure that it's not like way better on prize picks than parlay play. And if it is, you guys play it there. But Jalen Johnson is pick number 1. Who are we going to pair Jalen Johnson with? For me, it was with our man Cunipple. So we're going to take our man Cunipple, and we're going to be taking him over rebounds and assists. His line is sitting at 6.5. Now, I'm going to give you guys 2 options for this. You can either run our man Cunipple, or you can run LaMelo. LaMelo Ball's RA is sitting at 14.5. I like both of these props. I looked at both of them. LaMelo has been a facilitating, playmaking machine all season long. The thing about this is LaMelo is questionable, and knowing my luck, LaMelo would get ruled out, and then it would chalk the slip, or it would be a refund. So without Brandon Miller, we can go to games this season. Without Brandon Miller, you can look at Cunipple. 4 or 5 games this season, he's cashed it. He's averaging 8 rebounds and assists in those 4 games. So he's been killing it. He had 10 and 11 his last 2 games. The only game he went under was versus the Magic. They got beat by 16. You can look at his minutes. His minutes that game was 26 minutes. You look at his minutes on every other game on the season, he has played 30 minutes plus on average. I mean, you see he has a couple of games where he's getting mid-20s. It really just depends on how he's playing. But the games he's playing good, man, he's getting mid-30s. He's had 30-plus minutes in his last 2 games versus the Jazz and versus Minnesota. They're playing against a team that they can beat. They can beat the Pelicans. They're a team I think they do beat. And you can see the Pelicans' rebounds and assist defense is pretty much non-existent. Bottom 5 in both categories, giving up 50 rebounds per game, giving up almost 30 assists per game. If you go to the small forward position and the power forward position, it's not quite as much. You can see where Cunipple's obviously going to be starting small forwards according to their lineup, and I do think he has a good game regardless. But if you look at point guard and shooting guard, point guard, they don't give up many of stats at all. Shooting guard and center is where they give up the most rebounds and assists. So if you want to go based off of just a perfect matchup, those would be the 2 that you would look at. But for me, man, LaMelo and Cunipple both have a chance to go over their RA. Do not play those 2 players on the same slip at the same line. Rebounds and assists, especially from the same team, is very hard for both to accomplish. It can definitely happen depending on the team or depending on the game. But for me, man, I'm going to run with Cunipple on this slate. And now he is boosted 2.5 threes. Probably not going to touch that, to be honest with you. Haven't even researched that play, to be honest with you. I went straight for the rebounds and assists because I knew that was going to be a good matchup, in my opinion. This line does give you a 2.04x and $18 on this one. There's no way that I have to play 3 $5 entries. There's no way I have to play 3 $5 entries. I will lock in 3 random slips. I can play 3. Okay, I can play 13 on that one. All right. I was about to be very upset. So let's lock in a real unit. I told you guys I wasn't going to do that, but that just pissing me off. That's just annoying. They should allow me to turn that crap off. No offense. Parlay play, if you're watching this video, turn that off to where I'm about to send you guys a message. I have to message my affiliate manager, but turn the promo funds off. Let me choose to use them or not. Let me save them up if I want to save them up. Anyways. All right, Cunipple. Got you locked in. Jalen Johnson. Going to get him at 30 PRA. And that does give us a 2.04x. $250 wins us $510 if we lock it in, and I like that play. Now, LaMelo, you guys can go ahead and pull up LaMelo Ball as well. Ball's RA is sitting at 14.5. We can research this play live together. This is going to be a 1.7x, so it's a regular line if you guys want to play it. Looking at Ball real quick. I'm not going to go super in-depth to this one because I'm not going to lock it in on a slip right now, but it will get used today at some point. You can see LaMelo's cashed at 5 straight games. He's averaging 18 RA per game on the season. He has 2 games with 20+. The other 2 games, he's very close. He hooked it in our favor versus Minnesota. Great matchup for him. Like, head-to-head, he went under his only game versus the Pelicans, which was last season. But he's really been just a great facilitator as usual. So 14.5 is what his line usually is most of the time throughout the season, on every season. This is about where it stays typically. Sometimes it goes up to 15.5. It usually starts at like 12 or 13.5, but this is where his line usually stays. It's probably going to be sweaty, but I do think he can give us 15 on any given day. So I don't think that's a bad play at all. But That being said, let's go ahead and jump into our next slip of the day. So the first pick that I have for this one's going to be for our wagon man, Vucevic. I love the play right here. I like Vucevic. I like the matchup. I like Vucevic. You can take him at 33.5 PRA, or you can buy it down. If you look at his Phillies PRA defense, 20th in the league in points, 16th in rebounds, 11th in assists. So they don't give up very many assists. They give up middle of the pack in rebounds. They give up bottom 10 in points. Go to center position, it stays around the same. Doesn't really change too much. Now, this lineup, man, Giddey and Vucevic are the two you got to look at. Giddey and Vucevic are the ones who are going to be able to score a lot. Now, point guard position, they don't give up many stats. You got a better matchup right now for Vucevic. Head-to-head data, he went over one of his last 3 versus Philly. Looking at the minutes played, he played 16 minutes this game. That's a big X. We don't even worry about this game. You want to look at the 2 games where he actually played normal minutes. He played 29 minutes this game. Then he played 34 minutes this game versus Philly. He cashed one of the 2 games, had 38 PRA in one of them. But this season, Vucevic has started off strong. You can look at him last season. He averaged 32 PRA per game. He's averaging 36 so far this season. He's been a beast. Without these 2 players, without Zach Collins and Kobe White, he does get a lot of usage, and he's scoring a lot. You can see some of these games, man, he's getting over 20 points, almost 30 points in a couple of these games. He's getting a lot of shot opportunities, averaging how many field goal attempts per game? 12.5 per game. Some of these games getting north of 15. So, great matchup for him, in my opinion, versus the Sixers. It's going to be a fast-paced game. They don't play a whole lot of D, and I just think he has a good matchup here, especially versus Embiid. Embiid's lazy. We know how he is. So Vucevic should have a good game. 33.5 PRA. You can run it if you want, or you can run it safe. I'm taking him at 29.5. That's going to be one of my favorite alt lines over here. You can get a 1.36x or 32.5 is really not bad, man. I might run 32.5. We'll see. We're going to play with these lines a little bit and try to find the best value and try to find the slip that we like the best. But let's pull up Vucevic versus the shot charts and see what it looks like. So Philly versus Chicago, you got Vucevic, and you got a yellow matchup everywhere. We're not going to go over all these percentages. Obviously, Vucevic is a three-point shooting center. He gets a lot of threes. 41% of his shots is from behind the arc. Yellow matchup everywhere. If you look at Josh Giddey's got a yellow matchup everywhere as well, so nothing really changes in terms of matchup-wise from the scoring charts. Nothing's really any different there. But anyways, I like Nikola Vucevic in this play, and that is going to be my 3rd pick of the day, or technically that's what? 1, 2, 3... Yeah, 4th pick of the day. So the next one I have is going to be for Brandon Ingram. It's going to be the final play of the day. I like 2 props for Ingram. You guys can choose the one you want. Like I said, I got Toronto winning this game versus the Bucks. I think it's going to be a close game, going to be a tough game. But the Bucks traveling as much as they are, and then being on a back-to-back, and then Toronto playing at home, I think they got the edge here. If you look at our man Ingram, I like his point line at 19.5. Which he's cashed 5 of 7 games. He's averaging 22.2 points per game on the season. Milwaukee gives up 18th in the league in points. If you go to small forward, it goes all the way up to 26. The matchup here for Ingram is great. They give up almost 30 points per game to the small forward, and Ingram's just been hot this season, so I gotta give him props where they're due. Field goal attempts, he's averaging 15.6 field goal attempts per game, 4 threes per game. He's averaging 4.1 free throws per game. His last 2 games, getting 7 to 6 free throws in those 2 games, respectively. The other prop that I like for this is going to be his PRA at 30.5. You can get his PRA here. He's cashed it 5 of 7 as well. He's averaging 32 PRA per game. Head-to-head data, he has 1 game versus the Bucks last year, or no, this is this year. He had 38 PRA in his game versus the Bucks this year, 29 points, so he smoked both of his lines on this one. PRA defense for the Bucks versus the small forward position, bottom 10 in 2 categories, and then 13th in the league in terms of assists. If you look at our man Ingram, he has a lot of players that he can assist to. He's getting 4 to 5 assists per game in his last 3. Some of these getting he's getting between 3 and 5 assists pretty much every single game. He has RJ Barrett, he has Scotty Barnes. He can assist to Pirtle if he needs to. Pirtle is questionable. We'll see what happens with that. But lots of players for him to facilitate to. So I like Brandon Ingram here on pretty much all of his lines. We will pull up this shot chart. Toronto versus Milwaukee, Brandon Ingram. And he's got a pretty decent shot chart here. 18% of his shot, or 25% of his shots from behind the arc. He does have an orange matchup here, but look at the rest of it. 26% here, 29.3% here, 26% mid-range. He's got a great matchup, in my opinion. This does not bother me at all because the three-point line is... The three-point line is hit or miss anyway, because if a player's shot is just off, then the three-point line becomes orange anyway. So he could have just had some of these teams could just be shooting bad threes that game. It might not be the perimeter defense. It might just be them not hitting their shots. So I like to look at the interior defense a little bit more, but I like this here, guys. I think this is a good shot chart, and I like RJ Barrett in this matchup and thinks he cashes us out. So we can decide to take Vucevic at 32.5 or 29.5, and then we can go look at Ingram and see what they have for Ingram as well and decide what we want to play. So Ingram at 19.5 points would give us a 2.16x. We could buy him down to 17.5. That gives us a 1.77. Or we can get Ingram at 30.5. 30.5 points gives us a 235. If we buy him down to 29.5, it's a 2.14. So I might run this. I might run both players at 29.5. That way I'm getting a discounted line on both, but that was one more PRA. We'll see how much money, what the dollar difference is for this. So 250 wins 587 versus 535. So it's literally $54 difference in terms of payout for one PRA. But I'm risking 250. So is it really worth the risk of a hook? Because if he ended at 30 on the dot, I would be sick. I'm going to put 2 units on this play because I really like this slip, and it's not boosted. I'm putting 500 to win 1,000. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to play the safer line. So if you guys want to tell this slip, it's great. Or it's one of my favorite slips. I'm going to pull this up on parlay play. So Ingram, 29.5. Then we're going to pull Vucevic up. And we're going to do the same thing for Vooch and just see if what the payout is here before I do this on parlay play. So it's a 2.25x versus a 2.14x. So it's actually better value on Prizepicks. If you have Prizepicks, that's where I would play it. The value here is still worse than the value right here if you take the extra bump. But, let's see what Ingram is at 30.5. What's the payout? 2.5x versus 2.37, 2.39. I'm just going to lock it in live because I want to be able to say I did it live on the video. So 500 to win 1,000. I'm going to lock it in. That's what I got, guys. Don't worry about these 2 small slips. These are 2 slips we're running. I'm running Vooch with Ingram, both PRA. Then I'm running Jalen Johnson with Cunningham, both over or RA and then PRA. So lock them in if you like them, guys. Fade them if you don't. That's what I've got for tonight's slate. Hopefully, we can cash out. Hopefully, you guys have an awesome day. Make sure you guys join our Discord if you haven't. Join the WAP if you haven't. We'd love to have you guys a part of our community. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video after, hopefully, we get us that sweep.